Chapter 1, The Lord of the Crossroads. Feel the heat emanating from the asphalt and the beaten earth simultaneously. Hear the crackling of the palm oil in the fire and the laughter that cuts through the silence of the night like a well-sharpened steel blade. I am neither the beginning nor the end, I am the movement that allows both to exist. I am Eshu, the messenger, the owner of the body, the guardian of acts, and the one who dwells precisely where the paths cross. To those who do not understand me, I am chaos. To those who respect me, I am order in its most dynamic form. Those who have tried to label me with names of foreign shadows do not know my light, which is the color of burning coal, black and fiery. I am the first to be served, for without my permission, the word of men does not reach the Orishas, and the will of heaven does not touch the earth. Feel my presence in the beating of your heart. It's an irregular rhythm, isn't it? That's because life is not a straight line. Life is a constant crossroads. Right now, I observe a man named Olod. He walks with heavy steps, carrying a bag full of certainties and an arrogance that smells of mold. He believes the world owes him something because he followed all the rules men created, forgetting the rules that life imposes. He is about to reach the city center, where four paths meet under the light of a lamppost that insists on flickering. I am sitting there, invisible to his eyes, blinded by pride, but present in the wind that ruffles his neck. I have my ogo, the staff that expands what is small and shrinks what is large, resting on my shoulder. Where are you going in such a hurry, traveler? I ask, but not with words, but with an obstacle. Olod stumbles on a stone that wasn't there a second ago. He curses the ground, curses his luck, curses the invisible. He doesn't realize that the stone is my first greeting. I am the one who makes mistakes the best teachers. You want to reach the top, but you don't even know how to step on the base, I whisper, as I materialize my form, a shrewd-eyed man, dressed in red and black, with a hat that seems to change color depending on who looks at it. He sees me now. He sees only a stranger on the path, but feels a chill that doesn't come from the weather. He stands before the crossroads of decision. He can offer me his respect and learn malleability, or he can try to ignore me and discover that I am the hole into which he will fall tomorrow. Olod's destiny begins now. And I love a good story where the improbable becomes law. Chapter 2, The Market of Invisible Exchanges. Smell the metal, leather, and chili peppers. The crossroads has transformed. To Olod, the once flickering lamppost now resembles the torch of an ancient palace, and the asphalt has become a vibrant marketplace that exists only in the in-between space. I am no longer just sitting, I own the stall, and what I sell is not weighed on golden scales, but by the measure of character. Olod stares at me, his chest puffed out with a courage that is, in truth, mere ignorance. Get out of my way, stranger, he says, trying to keep his voice steady. I have an important deal to close. Time is money. I let out a laugh that makes the windows of the surrounding buildings vibrate. Money? I ask, playing with a copper coin between my fingers. Time is not money, Olod. Time is axe. And you are wasting yours like someone pouring water on the desert. You say you have an important deal, but you don't know that the contract has already been signed by your shadow before you even wake up. I strike my ogo on the ground. The sound isn't of wood hitting stone, but of a drum echoing within his soul. The ethical conflict here is the basis of my dominion, reciprocity. In my world, nothing is given, everything is exchanged. Olod wants success, but what is he willing to offer? He thinks he can cheat life with shortcuts, without understanding that I am the master of all shortcuts, and of all the abysses they hide. Look here, I say, opening my hands. I give you the passage and the success you so desperately seek. In exchange, you give me the first thing you earn when you reach your destination. He smiles, thinking he's clever. He thinks of profits, of coins, of signed papers. He thinks he'll give me a crumb of his fortune and walk away profiting. Done. He exclaims, without hesitation. Ah, the haste of men, it's the spice I like best. He didn't ask what I consider a gain. He doesn't know that the first gain of a successful man is often loneliness. Or the fear of losing what he has conquered. I step aside, clearing the way as if the night itself were bending down for him to pass. But, as he runs towards his big deal, I drop a metaphysical banana peel in his wake. Not so that he falls now, but so that he learns to look where he steps while looking at the top. Leroy! I shout behind him. Eshu is what makes the mistake turn into a success and the success turn into doubt. Olod arrives at the mirrored building. He enters. The elevator goes up. He feels the world is at his feet. He doesn't realize that, with each floor he climbs, the price of our exchange increases. For the higher the flight, the sweeter the fall for those who don't know how to greet those who guard the ground. What will he gain up there? And what will I be looking for at his door tomorrow? Chapter 3, The Glass Banquet. Feel the pressure in your ears as the elevator cuts through the air toward the penthouse. Olod looks at himself in the mirror of the metal cubicle. The suit is expensive, the watch gleams, but his eyes have that glint of someone who thinks he's cheated fate. He adjusts his tie knot, not realizing that it increasingly resembles a noose, tightened by invisible hands. The doors open onto a marble and glass hall. The big deal is on the table. Men with pale faces and plastic smiles await him. The contract is signed. The handshake is cold. Olod has just become the most influential man in his sector. Success has fallen into his lap like a ripe fruit, or perhaps, like a fruit I myself hasten to rot. Congratulations, Olod, says the majority partner. With this agreement, you gain the absolute trust of the entire board. Olod smiles. Trust. That was his first gain. And that's exactly what I came for. I appear, not as the man at the crossroads, but as a silent waiter serving champagne. No one notices me, except him. My eyes meet his over the crystal glass. I say nothing, only incline my head. What's wrong? Asks the partner, noticing Olod's sudden pallor. Fear begins to creep in. The confidence he had just gained instantly transforms into paranoia. He looks at the men at the table and, through my influence, he no longer sees partners, he sees predators. He gains their trust, but in return, I take it away from him. Now, he doesn't even trust his own shadow. I need a moment, stammers Olod, heading towards the balcony. Outside, the city is a sea of lights that look like embers. I'm leaning against the parapet, blowing out the smoke from a cigar that smells of mystery and revelation. The payment, Olod, I say, my voice as gentle as the wind before a storm. You earn my trust. Now it's mine. From today on, you'll have all the gold in the world, but you'll never know who's telling you the truth. Every smile will be an enigma. Every hug will be a calculation. That's not fair, he shouts, while the cars below look like toys. You said you'd give me success. And I did, I reply, releasing a red smoke that draws the symbol of my Ogo in the air. But success without balance is a luxurious prison. You didn't greet the owner of the street before entering the building. You thought what was important was what was on paper, forgetting that what's important is what's in the blood and in respect. I stomp my foot on the penthouse floor. The glass beneath our feet creaks. Now, Olod, your way back will be much harder than the ascent. For to descend, you will have to take off those shoes of vanity and feel the stones you cursed down below. The sky closes in. Thunder echoes without rain. X's game is not about losing or winning, it's about learning that the crossroads never leaves us behind. It follows us, floor by floor. Do you want me to show him the way to the basement, or should I let him try to fly without wings? Chapter 4, The Other Side of the Red Carpet. Feel the ground tremble beneath your feet, not like an earthquake, but like the throbbing of a jugular. The glass hall, which moments ago smelled of imported perfume and triumph, now seems to have the rarefied air of a tomb. Olod looks at his partners through the glass of the balcony and sees their mouths moving, but hears no sound. For him, the world has become a silent film where everyone seems to be plotting his end. I walk along the parapet of the penthouse, balancing on the edge between the abyss and opulence. Doubt is a beast that eats from the inside, isn't it, Olod? I tease, making my red cape flutter against the metropolitan wind. You wanted the top. Well, here it is, the loneliest place on earth. I'll pay whatever you want, he despairs, tearing the gold watch from his wrist and holding it out to me. Take the gold, take the shares, but give me back my peace. I let out a laugh that echoes through the elevator shafts. The sound is like chains breaking. I don't eat gold, little man. Gold is dead earth. I eat the energy of life, movement, the truth of sacrifice. You try to bribe me with what you yourself despise now? Eshu is nobody's employee. I am the partner you can't fire. I point my Ogo towards the exit door. Suddenly, the lights in the penthouse go out. The luxury disappears into the darkness, leaving only the gleam of my eyes and the silhouette of the hungry city outside. The way back isn't by elevator, I declare. The elevator is for those in a hurry to fall. The way back is by the service stairs, where those who carry the garbage pass, those who clean the floor you didn't want to see. You will descend step by step, feeling the weight of every no you've given in life. Olod begins to descend. With each flight of stairs, the scenery changes. On the 40th floor, he loses his voice. On the 30th, he loses his sense of touch. On the 20th, his designer clothes begin to fall apart, becoming rags that smell of sweat and effort. He is being stripped of everything that is false. The ethical conflict here is the deconstruction of the ego. Eshu does not punish, Eshu educates through astonishment. I am at the foot of each staircase, waiting for him with a new enigma. Do you know the difference between the stone you stumbled on and the diamond you signed? I ask on the 10th floor, while he crawls, breathless. The stone is honest. It's there to teach you about gravity. The diamond is a lie that shines to make you forget the ground. When he finally reaches the street-level exit, he is no longer the big executive. He is an ordinary man, barefoot, his heart beating to the rhythm of the earth. The original Crossroads awaits him. The lamppost still flickers. I am there, leaning against the same lamppost, picking my teeth with a stick of arrow wood. The feast is over, Olode. The bill has arrived. And now? Will you curse the messenger, or will you finally learn to greet the street before crossing? His fate now depends no longer on contracts, but on the first step he takes on this hot asphalt. Chapter 5, Blood on Earth and the Key to Life. Feel the coolness of the dew that now falls on Olode's bare shoulders. The silence of dawn in the city is different. It is not the silence of peace, but the silence of what is to come. He is kneeling at the exact point where the four paths meet. The marble of the roof is behind him, and now what he feels under his palms is the roughness of the asphalt mixed with the dust that the wind brought. I lean away from the post. The sound of my footsteps is not that of a man, but of 1,000 destinies moving at the same time. I stop before him. My shadow is long, covering him like a cloak of mystery. Raise your head, Olode, I command. My voice is no longer the mockery of the marketplace, but the weight of the authority of one who guards the portal between worlds. You looked at the sky and forgot that your feet are made of clay. You sign with a pen, but life is written with sweat and, sometimes, with blood. He raises his gaze. There is no more arrogance, only a painful clarity. I lost everything. He whispers, tears wiping away the trail of ashes on his face. You didn't lose anything that was truly yours, I reply, taking a small piece of roasted yam and a little palm oil from inside my cloak. You lost the chains you called jewels. Now, you are empty. And emptiness is the only place where I can plant something new. I hand him the simple food. The ethical conflict reaches its point of mutation. Humility is not humiliation, it is the acceptance of our true measure. Olode eats, and with each chew, he feels the strength of axe returning to his muscles. He realizes that true wealth is not what you accumulate, but your ability to circulate, to exchange, to be part of the flow of the street. Eshu, he says, using my name with the respect due to a father and a master. What do I do now? The path to my old world is closed. I smile, and my teeth gleam like cowrie shells under the moonlight. Eshu doesn't close paths, Olode. Eshu shows that others exist. The crossroads is not the end of the line, it's the beginning of all directions. You won't go back to that glass building. You will open your own door, down here, where life pulsates. You will be the one who teaches that success that doesn't honor its foundations is just a statue waiting to fall. I strike my ogo 3 times on the ground. With each strike, a spark of fire erupts from the asphalt. Go. The market is opening. Use what's left of your intelligence to serve, not to enslave. And remember, the first coin of every gain is from the street. The first drop of every drink is from the ground. If you forget me, I'll be on every corner to remind you. I begin to disappear into the morning mist, transforming into the very movement of the awakening city. The sound of the buses, the shout of the coffee vendor, the laughter of the neighbor, all of that is me. Olode rises. He walks towards the rising sun, but this time, he treads firmly. He stops at the edge of the sidewalk, looks both ways, and before crossing, bows in a discreet gesture of respect for the crossroads. The man who wanted to be king learned to be human. And I, the Lord of the Paths, continue laughing, ready for the next stumble that will teach someone to walk. Chapter 6, The Market of Living Souls. Feel the morning's murmur that arrives without asking permission. The son of Orun, the sky, touches the earth, and the crossroads of Olode, once a stage of shadows and trials, now overflows with ordinary life. The smell of fresh acreage fried in palm oil mixes with the odor of car exhaust pipes. Olode is at the center of everything, but now he is not just an observer, he is the very thread that weaves the network. I observe him through the eyes of a stray dog that lurks on the sidewalk. My presence is subtle, but constant. The fall test passed, Olode, I whisper in his stream of consciousness. But the test of getting up is much longer. Many know how to fall dramatically, few know how to rise with work. Olode no longer has the suit, nor the penthouse office. He has a wooden stall and a tray. He began selling what he had learned, not empty actions, but the wisdom of fair exchange. He helped small merchants understand the flow of money and respect. He became a path adjuster, a messenger between those who have and those who need. The ethical conflict now is the temptation of stagnation. He could be content to be a simple man and forget his ambition. But I, Eshu, do not like stagnant water. I am movement. Look at that man over there, I point, materializing for a moment as a wanderer asking for a sip of water at his stall. Olode sees a young executive, identical to what he once was, getting out of a luxury car and treating the parking attendant with the contempt of someone stepping on cockroaches. Olode's blood boils. He feels the urge to shout, to knock the young man down, to show him the abyss he himself knew. Calm down, street kid, I say, drinking the water and wiping my mouth with the back of my hand. Revenge is a closed path. Justice is an open crossroads. What will you offer him, your hatred or your key? Olod takes a deep breath. He understands that I placed him there not to be a judge, but to be Eshu himself in that young man's life. He approaches the boy, not with a punch, but with a word that stumbles precisely on the other's arrogance. Watch your shoes, young man, says Olod, with an enigmatic smile. Today's asphalt is hungry for expensive leather. The young man stops, confused. For a second, time stops. I spin my invisible ogo in the air. In that instant, Olod planted doubt, my favorite seed. He didn't save the young man, but he gave him the chance to look at the ground before falling. I feel my axe vibrate. Olod understood that being my devotee isn't about wearing a necklace, but about carrying the truth in your hands. He is now a guardian of the street, a point of equilibrium in the chaos of the city. I retreat to the shade of a white fig tree, chuckling softly. My work here is done, but the crossroads never sleeps. There will always be a new, important, person going up in the elevator and a new stumble waiting on the sidewalk. Leroy. I shout to the universe, as I transform into the glint of an oil puddle on the ground, reflecting the sun. I am Eshu, the first and the last. The one who was there before the contract was written and who will be there when the paper turns to dust. The cycle of Olod closes in harmony, but the street, the street is infinite. Chapter 7, The Mystery of the Eighth Path. Feel the weight of midday. The sun is at its zenith, and at the crossroads, the shadows disappear for an instant, hiding beneath the feet of those who walk. It is the moment of absolute silence amidst the hustle and bustle of the metropolis. Olod is seated at his stall, but something has changed. He no longer feels only the asphalt beneath his feet, he feels the city's veins pulsing. I appear, seated beside him, swinging my legs like a mischievous child on the counter. This time, I wear no mask. My skin shines like polished ebony, and my eyes contain the swirl of all the galaxies. You learn to descend and you learn to walk, Olod, I say, while playing with a palm seed. But do you know where the road goes when it seems to end at the wall? The ethical conflict now is that of transcendence. Olod has become a good man, a just man. But human justice is limited by the laws of what is seen. I want to take you to where the laws are made of desire and consequence. Eshu, I do what is right, Olod replies, his voice serene. I take care of the street, I respect bread. What more does the crossroads want from me? The crossroads wants nothing, Olod. It offers. I strike my ogo on the ground and, suddenly, the city scene dissolves. We are no longer on the busy street. We are in a place where 7 paths meet, but upon closer inspection, there is an 8th path, one that goes neither north, nor south, nor anywhere the map knows. It is the path that returns inward. This is the path of your personal axe, I explain, standing up and growing taller until my head touches the clouds of ritualistic smoke. Many serve Eshu to gain the world. Few serve Eshu to gain themselves. Are you ready to be the master of your own crossroads? In this spiritual plane, Olod sees all the choices you have made. He sees the contract you signed in Chapter 2, but now the paper isn't made of cellulose, it's made of your intentions. He realizes that I didn't take away his trust out of malice, but so that he would learn to trust the invisible, and not what is guaranteed by stamps. The 8th path is that of total responsibility, I continue, my voice echoing like 1,000 thunderclaps. From now on, you no longer need me to place stones in your path for you to learn. You yourself will be your Eshu. You will be your own messenger. I hand him a small iron key, forged in the fire of his trials. This key doesn't open building doors. It opens the mouth of those who are truly hungry and closes the wound of those who have been betrayed. Use it wisely, for if you fail yourself, there will be no crossroads in the world that can hide you from your own shadow. The scene returns to normal. The sound of cars returns. Olod blinks, and I've vanished. But in the palm of his hand, there's a mark, a small scar in the shape of a key. Olod's legacy is complete. He is no longer a slave to success, nor a beggar of luck. He is a man of the crossroads. He knows that destiny is a fabric woven with each step, and that Eshu is not only on the corner, but in every decision that separates the ego from the soul. I watch him from afar, giving one last laugh before transforming into the wind that turns the pages of an abandoned newspaper. Leroy. Life is a marketplace, the soul is the merchandise, and honesty is the only profit one takes to Orun. Chapter 8, The Throne of Clay and Star. Feel the weight of the air when it stops circulating. It is not the suffocation of death, but the vacuum that precedes creation. Olod stands on his wooden bench, the iron key marked on the palm of his hand throbbing in sync with the heart of the earth. He looks at the city and no longer sees only buildings and people, he sees the lines of force, the axe, that connect the beggar to the billionaire, the trash to the flower, the cry to the silence. I manifest myself one last time, but not as the wanderer or the waiter. I am now the crossroads itself. My voice does not come from a throat, but from the creaking of structures and asphalt. The journey ends where the skin ends and the spirit begins. Olod, I proclaim. You climbed to the top and fell to the ground. Now, I ask you, where is your place? The final ethical conflict is that of spiritual sovereignty. Olod looks at the key in his hand. He could use it to rebuild his glass empire, now with the cunning of one who knows the gods. He could be a king among men. But he closes his hand, feeling the cold iron against his warm skin. My place is here, Olod replies, his voice as firm as Ogun's iron. Neither above nor below. In the middle. At the meeting point. Where I can be the bridge for the lost and the mirror for the blind. I let out a sigh that clears the pollution from the horizon. It is the sigh of satisfaction. When a human chooses balance over power, the universe breathes a sigh of relief. Then take your throne, I say. Olod's wooden stall doesn't turn to gold. It remains wood, but wood that never rots. The asphalt beneath his feet becomes a mosaic of lived stories. He is no longer just a merchant, he is a Babylona, a father of the path. I give him my last gift, the invisibility of the righteous. He will pass through everyone, help many, but no one will know his name. He will be the stranger who gives the right advice, the man who holds the door, the gaze that prevents suicide. He will be Eshu's arm in the material world. 8th chapter, 8th life, I whisper, as I dissolve into millions of black and red sparks that spread throughout the city. Remember, Olod, I am the question. You are the answer. I am the imbalance that forces the step. You are the step that finds the ground. Olod puts his hand in his pocket. He smiles at a stranger who passes by hurrying. The stranger stops, confused, and without knowing why, takes a deep breath and slows his pace. The domino effect of acts has begun. I move on to the next crossroads, to the next greedy heart, to the next hungry soul. Because as long as there are two paths, I will be there, in the middle, laughing and waiting. Chapter 9, The Return to the Silence of the Beginning. Feel the freshness of the rain that falls now, washing away the blood, dust, and gold from the asphalt. It's that fine late afternoon rain, which in Candomblé we call the dew that refreshes the earth after the fire. Olod is sitting on the curb. He has nothing, and yet, he feels that the whole world fits in his embrace. The marked key in his hand no longer shines, it has become part of his skin, a scar of wisdom. I no longer appear as a physical form. I am just a shadow that lengthens when the streetlights come on. My voice is now the sound of tires on wet asphalt. The last lesson, Olod, is the one no one wants to learn, I whisper in his ear. The lesson of forgetting. You did good, you balanced the scales, you taught the young man. But now, the world will go on as if you never existed. Are you ready to be nobody? The ultimate ethical conflict is that of detachment from legacy. Many men do good to be remembered, to have statues or names in squares. But the true agent of Eshu is like the wind, he changes the direction of things, but leaves no signature. Olod looks at his own stall. He sees a poor man approach, take a piece of bread he left behind, and continue his journey without even looking back. He smiles. A clean smile, without the bitterness of someone who expects gratitude. I am ready, Eshu, he replies to the void. If the path is open, it doesn't matter who opened it. What matters is that one can walk. At that moment, I let out my last laugh of this story. A laugh of pure joy, which makes the stars seem closer. I remove the veil that covered his eyes. Olod looks at the crossroads and sees that there are not only 4 paths. There are infinite ones. Each choice, each word, each thought is a new road that opens up. He realizes that I was never his enemy, nor even his master. I was his mirror. Go in peace, man of the road, I say, as the mist envelopes him for the last time. From today on, you will no longer find me in visions. You will find me in your own laughter when life tries to knock you down and you decide to dance. I transform into a black bird that lands on a high-voltage wire. I look down and see Olod rise. He walks into the crowd and, in a few steps, becomes indistinguishable from the others. He is an ordinary man, carrying the secret of the gods in his pocket. Olod's story ends here, in sacred anonymity. But yours, reader, is only beginning. For every time you reach a corner and don't know where to go, know that I will be there, invisible, waiting to see if you will choose the path of fear or the path of truth. Leroy, Eshu. Eshu Majuba. Chapter 10, The Offering of Infinity. Feel the silence that precedes the first breath of the universe. There is no more Olod, no more stall, no more city. We are in the primordial AIE, where time is a circle and space is a promise. The number 10 is not an end, but the sum of everything. $1 plus 0 equals $1. The return to the original unity, but now carrying the experience of multiplicity. I appear in my purest form, the point of light in the dark. I am neither man, nor animal, nor shadow. I am the breath of creation. Look back one last time, I say, and my voice is the sound of all the waters and all the fires. In this plane, the life of Olod is seen as an offering. His mistakes were the bitter ingredients, his fall was the sacrifice, his redemption was the honey that sweetened the earth. He did not merely live a story, he became a living lesson that now floats in the ocean of humanity's consciousness. The final ethical conflict dissolves in communion. There is no longer I against other, nor man against God. There is only the flow. What happens when the story ends? A final question from Olod echoes in the void. The story never ends, I reply, transforming myself again into the man in the red and black hat, seated on a throne made of roots and stars. It only sheds its skin. I am Eshu, the Lord of Ten, the one who closes the door so that you realize there were never walls. The end is only the beginning seen from behind. I snap my fingers. Olod's world, and your world, reappears. But now, everything shines with a faint aura of golden coal. Every stone in the path now seems like an altar, every encounter, a ritual. The ultimate secret is that life itself is the ritual. I lean forward and whisper directly to you, who have accompanied every step of this ascent and descent. The key I gave to Olod is now in your hands. The crossroads is not in the book, it is in your next yes, or your next no. Know that I have never left you. I am in your doubt, in your desire, and in your courage to begin again. I disappear in a final laugh, so loud and so vast that it becomes the sound of your own heartbeat. The 10th door closes. The mystery is sealed. Here we conclude the complete cycle of Eshu. From the chaos of ambition to the silence of wisdom, we have traversed the paths of the Lord of Movement. In the Yoruba pantheon, 10 represents perfection returning to the beginning to renew itself. The paths are open. What other force of nature do you wish to invoke now?